Back with Colleen from Colleen Lyle Real Estate. There's all her information on the screen. If you want to get a hold of Colleen, if you have questions for a realtor and you'd like to ask about buying, selling, the market today here in Ottawa, there's her information. Phone number 613-317-9800. ColleenLyle.com is how you can learn more about her brokerage. And we're talking now a little bit about just how hot the market is. This is unreal. This is not something we see all the time. This represents what happened last month, in the month of July, which is usually a quiet month, which is when everyone takes off to the cottage. Realtors get a little bit of a break. You didn't get a vacation this year, did you?
No, we definitely did.
What happened here?
So every month we come out with our stats as to where the market is going. And as you mentioned, July is normally the quiet month. It's when people do go away. And what we clearly saw this year is the fact that because we are Ottawa's a very weather-driven city.
Yeah.
And the fact is that we unfortunately did not experience a great spring.
Right.
And therefore, if you see, normally we are at a quiet month. But the fact is we saw almost over 250 more sales this month than we've ever seen. And it was actually the busiest July ever on record, in the fact that people are catching up, in the fact that people were putting their houses on the market and they were selling quite quickly.
So 1,842 homes sold in the month of July alone this year.
Absolutely.
In a city of 1 million people.
In a city of 1 million people.
Where last year we were at 1,600, the year before 50. So there's been a steady increase, but it hasn't always been such a big jump as what we saw this year.
Absolutely, because again, the inventory is very, very low. So if people have been saying, well, I'm waiting to put my home on the market in the spring, I strongly encourage that they don't, because obviously we are still really active. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we are also seeing the fact that the Ottawa Real Estate Board has clearly stated in their press release the fact that this is not a bubble, and they want to encourage people to clearly hear that.
And what do they mean by this is not a bubble?
The fact is that they're worried that people are always concerned that they're paying too much, and what we're seeing is the fact that it's a market adjustment. Ottawa has been very low and very affordable for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And so we're finally seeing what should happen, that townhomes should be around that 400,000, give or take. Mm-hmm. The fact that homes that are beautifully maintained, big, large 4-bedroom homes should be over the 500K mark, some even over 800. The fact is that we're just having a market adjustment. Being a government town, a high-tech town, a transient town, we are a very stable market, and we're encouraging people to recognize that.
We're just catching up to where we should have been years ago.
Absolutely.
We're grown up here in Ottawa now. Let's talk about, we have a question that came in from Eli. We had a bit of a poor connection, but I'll ask it on his behalf. He was wondering about triplex rentals in Vanier. Is that an area where it's a good idea to invest in a triplex?
I would strongly encourage Eli, saying, so looking at the Ottawa market, we have never really seen a huge drop. So any investment, once you look at the return of investment, the ROI, then definitely it's something to look at. You have to look at what the rentals are. If there are currently already tenants, then it's an opportunity that can't be missed. Yeah. Over the long term, as I mentioned to you, the Ottawa market has remained stable, and what we believe to be true should remain stable. Yeah. Obviously, the election may change certain things, so we're going to wait and see. But as I mentioned, Ottawa has remained a nice, strong real estate market. We're not going up and down like the Toronto, Vancouver, and that's something that we are also talking about in the Real Estate Board. Don't listen to the Vancouver and the Toronto news, because we are very different than those cities.
As they correct themselves, right, we're kind of catching up to where we should be as a growing city. We are seeing a lot of growth, like you say, in Canada, in Barrhaven, and so it makes sense for the homes to be a little bit more of a value of a little bit more than where we have been traditionally.
And our workforce in Ottawa is a lot more stable than, let's say, the bigger cities compared to us. So I don't want people to worry when they see that the fact that we are, over 250 busier than we were last year. The fact is we're just having a correction and nothing else.
All right, Colleen Lyle, thank you so much from the Colleen Lyle Real Estate. Here's how you can get a hold of her. All the information right there on your screen, phone number, address, and a website.